Tag Show. Tag Show. That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's undisputed because I'm undisputed. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the Mixed Tag Show with
Jenna and
Blue. I'm not wearing blue today, but you know I'm still blue, no matter what I do.
gang.
Bars. Put me on that mixtape, AEW. What you giving me that for?
Yes, it's time for us to wrap this show up because that was extremely bad. Speaking of
flashback,
rapping,
you know I got bars.
speaking of rapping and stuff like that, I really and AEW, I really love the Acclaimed. I love their theme song. It's crazy because they came out with such backlash with this Simone Biles thing, and like you breathing on the mic, son, you throwing me off.
My bad.
Nah, because you was throwing me off. Anyway, yeah, the Acclaim.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. How are you?
No, it's dope. I'm good. I'm tired. You know, currently moving status. So y'all not gonna see this background no more. This nasty stain right here. Y'all gonna stop seeing it.
No one's ever seen that stain until you actually pointed it out, because that stain.
Well, we're not gonna see it no more.
It's like people will know.
Change.
People will point out their flaws, like, oh, this pimple or whatever, and chances are someone didn't see that pimple or a stain or whatever. It's just like, yeah. But okay.
I try to do a good job of hiding it with my head, but you know.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
But yeah, you know, the whole moving thing in a very short period. It's a lot of packing, tiring. Other than that, excited for what's coming in the future overall. How about you?
I'm excited. I packed, you know, for my trip, and me and my bae are gonna go to Rumble. Apparently it's ramp or bust. So
it's ramp or what?
Ramp or bust.
Oh, they're trying to get ramp or not go.
Yeah, but we're gonna go. But yeah, I'm excited for this week. So I wanted to make sure we record, because you know that would have been like a few weeks we didn't get anything out there. So I just wanted to make sure you and I, especially since you're gonna be busy and I'm gonna be busy. So yeah.
Next Sunday, I'll be moving. I'll be in a new environment, so I won't be ready. But we'll be ready for this week. Put You On with Miss Jenna baby and Ariella Nix.
I'm working overtime.
Yeah, because you did this past Thursday with PJ Savage. That was a dope episode on Twitch, twitch.com/The Mixed Tag Show.
Yes, and I've been so busy, and I'm assuming you've been busy. That I forgot to post.
Can we air quote with my busyness?
No, but shout out to him. He's I don't want to say that I loved all our guests that we've had, right? But it's always something when, you know, in regards to your own, like that's from where you're from, and just and the conversation that we had in regards to New York and stuff like that, and just his mindset about a lot of things.
It's because he's Puerto Rican. Go ahead and say it.
Hey, he's from Puerto Rican and from New York. Like, I was really more so getting to the fact that he was saying in regards to getting out of New York or not having a lot of opportunities in New York, which is something I literally had this conversation with my boyfriend. So it was just like, that's more what it was, not because of the Puerto Rican thing, but shout out to the Boricuas, you know, gang.
Whatever. Also, this past week we had the Hitman for Hire, Mr. Grimm, on with me as well on our usual time on Tuesday. That was a great episode as well. If you haven't had a chance, check out his match that we watched on, Put You On. That was an amazing match between him and the guy he's going against is escaping my mind right now, and I'm mad. I'm gonna get it before the end of the show because I said that I'm gonna try to get that guy on the show as well. They had a trilogy, and and we watched the third match, and my God, that match was like we barely talked during the match. That's how good it was. We was just like I got lost in it because that was the first time seeing it. But shout out to Hitman for Hire, Mr. Grimm. We talked about his experiences between the backstage and AEW and WWE, and how he's been scouted and how he's looking to do major things in 2022. So shout out to him as well. If you haven't had a chance to watch either one of those Put You Ons, head back. And if you haven't missed any of the Put You Ons, head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Mixed Tag Show and catch up on Darius Lockhart, Carter, Joseph,
Amber Rodriguez,
Jocelyn Navarro, and
yeah,
Carly Bravo. And we have a list.
TKO.
And a lot of people, TKO, a lot of people on those lists are making major moves in 2022 already. Darius Carter, for one example, has 3 championships right now. And for 3 different promotions. Amber Rodriguez has just announced that she will be part of WoW. So yeah, we're putting you on some quality people.
Yeah, so you can be the first ones to be like, yo, I was there from the beginning. You don't have to fake the funk when they're super wrestlers and these big promotions. You can say you're the first one.
Yeah.
Or one of the first one, like, well, I remember I saw them on this show and that's what put me on. Go ahead.
Right.
Watch
the Mixed Tag Show put me on. There you go.
So yeah, but make sure you follow.
That sounds like a merch. The Mixed Tag Show put me on.
Right.
I like that.
Oh, that's actually very good. Let's revisit that. Let's revisit that. Yeah. The Mixed Tag Show put me on. Anyway,
I like that.
Yes, make sure you follow us on all our platforms, Twitter and Instagram. We're gonna mention our fantasy draft again. Join. We got the belts. We finally got the belts, so we can give our past winners the Jobber Tears podcast. Their belts,
these belts
they're
are
fire. They're absolutely fire.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. Shout out to all the past winners that won the titles, but these right here,
this one
is fire.
Hard.
And they heavy. They're heavy. My wife tried to pick up the box that had both of the titles in it. She's like, oh, this is some real titles? I'm like, yo.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be having
official.
it. Well, first of all, she shouldn't have been carrying anything, but
she was picking it up off the bed. Like, she had walked in. I wasn't paying attention. I was in the other room. She doesn't like to ask for help. I'd be getting on her about that. So she was just like moving it over type
right. No, but I'm excited for us to link with them so we can go ahead and finally give it to them. Fingers crossed that it's super soon. But let's get into the show because I know you and I have a lot of things to get accomplished.
And this is and honestly, this is just a preview for the Royal Rumble, just because we won't have a chance to do anything this week to recap it.
There's a couple things to discuss. The Royal Rumble. I think the main thing is the Royal Rumble, but there was a couple of things to mention, like just the whole Walter thing, name change to Gunther, and
you want to get into it? I thought we were just doing a preview. I bet let's get into it. We got the Walter situation. We got the Brody King situation. We got the Cody Rhodes promo. We got the whole Naomi and Sonya Deville situation. What? Why are you giving me that face?
I don't know. I don't like how you doing that. Like, we got this, like, yo. Like, chill out, son.
Well, I can't be myself. All right, let me be professional.
We're
gonna go ahead and visit the past matches.
You're an absolute introvert, so that's like that's not how you
around people that don't know me. Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Let's right, whatever. Because this is every time you reel me in, and then we talk about random shit, and it's 9 minutes into the show already. God, no, I'm kidding. I just wanted to touch base on it's not much going on in regards to like Raw or, in my opinion, AEW or SmackDown. But I did wanted to mention, since we're talking about Royal Rumble, you had asked me this past week when I was trying to figure out a subject to talk about for Speak for Yourself, which will be coming this week again. Took a little 2-week break because I didn't know what to talk about. It was nothing that really grabbed me in regards to, so I'm passionate enough to like rant about. But outside of ranting, I wanted to actually give a shout out to Seth Rollins and KO too. Actually, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. I think they are excelling on with their characters on Raw. We give shit a lot to Raw just not being the A show anymore, and it's just being boring. And no sense of direction. But it's like I don't want to say the three current pillars of Raw right now, but I in the sense like their storyline is I'm interested in. Seth is killing it. First of all, shout out to the stylist, right? That's getting Bobby and Steph and his name is King Troy, Becky Lynch, and all these people getting their styles together. Um, but Seth is just really owning this character, and he had a really dope promo a couple of weeks ago um, with Roman and Bobby Lashley too. Like he's a face. Like you're not even sure if he's a face or heel, but I would say he's
He's the
obviously a
badass.
face. Yeah, he's just a badass, and it took so long for him. As we were just having this conversation yesterday about Leo Rush and him and Lashley, and then having him pose crazy
With his
to this
glutes.
his glutes, and now he's just this complete badass, and he's been killing it since the pandemic. And then KO is going to be KO. I know a lot of people were upset that he stayed with WWE, but
Nah.
that was his decision. But I feel like KO is one of those people that understands his role and is going to do the best that he can. And I think that's what he's currently doing. I do agree that he should be one to get a heavyweight
Title
title
run.
because he deserved, another title reign. Yeah, absolutely. But he's excelling in this role, and there's some wrestlers that can play face and heel and can just play face. He's someone that he just does better at being a heel, and he's excelling. So I felt that's a storyline, not for nothing, that I'm invested in. So so I just wanted to like kind of touch on that in regards to on the
No,
Raw side.
no, I agree. I've seen some clips from the things between Seth and Kevin Owens, and I'm enjoying it. It's great to see Seth being an element because for a while people was questioning him. You know what I'm saying? Of what can he deliver, especially when he was champion, and that's what caused the switch for him, and it's been working out. And now he found this drip god situation, and it's just like excelling. Like you know what I mean? Like it took it to a whole nother level. And Kevin Owens, like you said, is always gonna be Kevin Owens. Um, Nobody never really doubted him. If you have a problem with him staying, like again, these wrestlers have to do what's best for them. They can't think about you when they make their decisions. Like I understand you have dream matches you want to see and all that to a third, but like at the end of the day, they gotta do what's best for them and their families. You're not gonna put food on their tables. Yes, you help, and you're gonna continue to do so whether he's at one company or the other. So you can't. Like I've seen some outrageous stuff on Twitter about people talking about him staying. It's just like, come on, guys. Like you gotta do what's good for you at the end of the day.
Right.
He's like close to 40. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's enjoyed his time with the Bucks or whatever. Like he just want to live his life and enjoy it. He had to do his best for his family. In terms of Bobby Lashley, I'm glad he is this monster. I'm glad he's this badass. The only little hiccup I don't like is how they played
The Hurt Business.
the Hurt Business in doing so. Like you didn't have to bring them back for one night only, and then he turned on them again, and they bring him back, and then turn on them again. It's just like
Or they turn on him. You keep saying him,
right,
him turning on them.
yeah,
They
you know what I
turn
mean.
on
Like
him.
they're back and forth. It's just like they were cool together. Like they all could be doing this together right now. Like the tag
They
division
could.
needs the tag division needs it. I'm not saying that they have to be in every segment together because sometimes it's good to have the fact shit and everybody's just dealing with their own situations. Like we've seen it before, but to constantly like just down it like that, like something that was so cool, it just bothers me. That's the only small hiccup I have with it. But other than that, I'm enjoying it.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying, and the Hurt Business could have done a lot more as a faction. And I'm not saying this doesn't happen at all, right? We've seen face factions, but Bobby Lashley is essentially thriving without a faction.
Right.
So I feel like it's either you're gonna have them with him or not, and just keep it as if it's gonna be not, then they don't need to keep teasing X, Y, and Z. If
Right.
anything, let Shelton and Cedric we always talk about WWE and the tag team division, how it's lacked for the past, I don't know how many years. They're a legitimate tag team at this particular point. You know, Shelton Benjamin is a tag team specialist, right? Since he's
Right.
come into WWE. So at this point, let them do their own thing in regards to into the division, into the tag team division, right? And let Bobby Lashley do his own thing. You know, maybe they come back around for one night only and team up type thing, kind of like how the Shield would do or whatever.
Right.
But at this point, it's, if you're not going to put them together, then let them do their own thing. So I
Right.
agree with that. But I also just feel at this point, Bobby Lashley is thriving on his own with MVP. Um, and it should just continue that way.
I just have a soft spot for Shelton and especially Shelton and Cedric. I know you didn't like Cedric before, but it's just like I feel like they could do so much more in a roster. You know what I mean? And like
I agree. I agree 1,000%. That's
you
why
take them off TV for mad long, and then you bring them back on just do this to them, and then they're just gonna disappear again or go chase the 24/7 title.
I agree 1,000%. I do too. That's why I said these are two people that you can legitimately put in the tag team, and it's not necessarily I don't like Cedric, at least as a wrestler. I think he's excellent. I think he's talented. You know, I was super impressed. I was super impressed with him ever since 205. His wrestling ability. I just think his character was always boring, and the Hurt Business kind of gave him a little edge, right? So I want more for them too, right? Especially if you're gonna stick around. You can literally, you have the Alpha Academy, you have the Hurt Business with Shelton and Cedric. You have, I don't know how long you're gonna keep Randy and Riddle together. You have the Street Profits. You have I think there's one more tag team on Raw. So that's a legitimate, like, you can really circle in regards to the storylines in the division. So that's my thing. So, but yeah, so I'm excited to see how these storylines with Seth and KO and Bobby Lashley continue. Because right now I can say all three of them can be heavyweight champion. To be perfectly honest,
they definitely can be champion. But I also don't like how they phased out Big E. Like Big E, I'm from my understanding, they said that he wasn't on Raw this past Monday.
And then he went and helped them.
He took that pin against Brock, and yeah. Like I just don't like how they just phased him out like that. In terms of the tag team division, I also heard, because again I watch clips. I don't really watch the full episodes. I heard that Alpha Academy won the titles.
Yeah,
that was very random. They haven't won a match since last year, like March of last year.
I don't think it's random because they've been legitimately feuding with, because you're not watching it, but they essentially have been feuding and in a lot of segments this past.
Yeah, I know. No, I've seen them. I've seen the small feud they've been having with the RK Bro, but it's just like they haven't won a match since like March of last year, and then out of nowhere they just win titles. Like that. I'm not saying, like, to me it's just the tag team division just needs to be redone. Like let them go on a winning streak together, or you know what I'm saying, like build up tag teams to make, like, you just get the titles to people that just haven't won nothing.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but I don't want it because we already spent a lot of time on discussing this. But yeah, hey, at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily for Otis or Chad Gable. I'm not really a fan of their gimmick, but you know, whatever. I
just want more for the tag team, please. That's the theme right there. More for the tag team. Thank you.
Okay. Right.
Wrong hand. That's how you put my fingers in the shot. I was like, wait, which hand is it?
Lord help me, please. All right. What else we want to talk about?
Oh,
the Walter thing?
We could talk about the Walter thing. We can say WWE. Yeah. Why would you do this? Like, this man has established himself behind this name for how long between NXT UK and NXT? It's not like this is the first time that he's been on NXT. He's the leader of a faction that's been on your program for the past 6 months since the pandemic started. Close to the end of the pandemic, when they could actually travel again, and then out of nowhere you change the man's name. Why? Why would you do this?
It wasn't even like it was a call up situation and they changed their name. Like, you literally changed his name mid in.
Right, transition of within the brand.
Yeah, and it's just like, listen.
I understand it. I understand they wanted to change his name because you know how WWE is. They want to own your name so they can make money off your name. And I'm pretty sure that he owns Walter, and he probably wouldn't sell it to them. But why would you not first do, why would you not do research on the name that you're about to give? Didn't y'all learn from the whole PCB situation with Charlotte and Becky and Paige? Like, why didn't you do research before you go ahead and trademark a Nazi general name?
What was the situation with PCB?
Remember there was the Submission Sisters and it turned out to be a porno?
No, I didn't. I now in regards to like calling the stomp, the curb stomp or whatever.
Right. That was another racial situation. Like, you guys have to learn from your mistakes. Like, why would you trademark trademark the entire name of a Nazi general?
Well, here I'm gonna play I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I think they're aware of it. Because my thing is
that's true. Like, unless you're doing it purposely just to push a needle.
Specifically with Walter, right? I don't know about the PCB thing, specifically that, but specifically with Walter,
yeah,
Gunther. That name is like, it's not something you think of in like creative and like, you know what's a good name? Gunther. Like it's not an ordinary name to decide to give to someone. So I feel like we knew what we were doing. And I think with Walter and Imperium, they have that whole, I don't want to say Nazi, I don't want to say any of that, but it says like a general and his followers.
No.
So
no, because even when you think about a ring comp, where does ring comp come from? Like,
yeah. So it's just like, so I don't think it was a stretch that they didn't know where this name originated from. I'm gonna call a spade and say that they knew, and they figured that it would generate mad heat, specifically for Walter, as a heel, and go about it that way, until they until there was a lot of backlash. Not only for the fact that you changed it to some like asinine name, but the fact that his name is Walter. It's been Walter. Why would you change anything mid whatever? It's not like he's up and coming. That's been his name. That's what's worked with him. He's been how long he's been the NXT UK champion for.
Right.
It's just like, what's the point of that? And it just goes back to how you and I keep having this conversation in regards to, he's like they're weeding out Triple H people, guys, and creations. And I can't understand why that would be the case. I don't understand a company that sits here and wants to literally sabotage things that goes well for their company. It does not make any type of sense. I don't see how it makes you look attractive. If let's say you do want to sell the company, I don't see how any of this puts you in a good position. And it's time and time again the same situation. If it works, leave it alone. Why do you have to? At this point, it just seems like it's there's a chemical imbalance with the people that run this company.
Yeah,
because I can't see what is the point of trying to switch something that works.
And to that point, and that was part of my number two. You just went into number two for me. It's just like, I really feel like they were just like on some shit like, all right, let's see if we can get away with this, and if they pick up on it, we'll drop it. If not, we good. And then we'll send a small signal to the people that know what it is, and we'll gain that fan base. Because at the end of the day, like I said, how you do not do history for this? Like, you can't be this blind to what's happening around you. Like, between the ring conf and the songs they come out to, we know what you're referencing to, and it's cool to play the line from time to time. But sometimes you go over, just like you did when you did the whole situation with what's this group that Ali was leading.
Retribution. You did the same thing. You let these black wrestlers say Black Lives Matter and everything like that, and then you did a parody of Antifa. Like, we know that this is what you guys do, and this is and to a point, this is kind of why Walter was kind of hesitant to come over here in the first place, because this is history being redone again. And like you said, this is Triple H people. Like, why would you do that? Like, it was fine the way it was. Why? But with that said, shout out to fans because when something like the
like
complaining that
that.
needed to happen, they were apparently his name got changed back to Walter. So we'll see what happens when he comes out next week.
Yeah, they dropped the trademark for the Gunther thing, and I also made a joke. I said because apparently there's an old tweet that popped up where Kyle O'Reilly went off on Walter and called him Gunther in a tweet, and I was like, "Yo, Vince probably was like, bookmark that. We're gonna find something to to use that with."
Probably, you don't know where they get these things from. So, but yeah. But that's ultimately that.
Also we've seen since we've last recorded, we've seen a debut over at AEW of Brody King. I don't know if you know who Brody King is.
Don't play me like that.
I'm just asking. I don't know. Like you be.
I even tweeted about it. No, so you.
I haven't been on social all week.
Okay, but you don't sit here and assume what people know and don't know. Go ahead, continue. I know he was going to impact in the whole, and I know the whole.
I wasn't assuming. I was asking
the whole. Why you need to ask?
The claim. The claim?
No, not the claim. The claim does this. I'm saying the whole.
No. When they piece each other,
with
like
Malachi. Okay, well, when the partnership with Malachi Black, before don't play me like this.
I didn't play you. I said I asked.
All right, don't finish your statement. Go ahead and continue.
All right. So Brody King popped up
because he's always because he's always fucking doing that shit. I'm sorry, yo.
She's talking to her reflection on the TV. All right. This is fun. Yeah, but he teamed up, with Malachi Black and for the House of Black, and was it the name of the team is Kings of the Black Throne?
Yes, Kings of the is it the Black Throne or the Dark Throne? Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's fire. I like the team. I'm interested to see how they move forward over there in that aspect. I'm not staying too long on that. Oh, I also like the how they teased the Pac joining them, and Pac was like, nah, you did this to me. I'm coming after you.
Well, yeah. So I originally tweeted, like you said, not to say too long on it. I originally tweeted, I thought this was like, all right, this is a new kind of tag team that they're gonna focus on with AEW. But then I think Malachi and Pac might have their finish out their feud before this is even considered a tag team. But yeah,
I think it's gonna be a whole stable though. I think at least eventually Julia Hart is gonna join them because she's been less and less cheerleadery with her guys, the varsity blondes, and she had that eye patch, so she's been affected by the black mist, which is seeping through her brain.
Isn't that funny how this low key this gimmick has come from WWE, but just twist and turn? But hey, that's what it's dope to be creative.
I think that's what
right?
Malachi. I think Malachi. That's what he wanted to do in WWE, and they were just like, I don't think we want to go this far with it, and that's why we covered. For them,
yeah, that makes sense. But I like how this really stemmed from WWE and continued on into that. But anyway, what else did you want to discuss in regards to AEW?
Oh, Cody's promo. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it or watch it.
Again, I tweeted, but go ahead.
How have you been on social? I've been packing. I watched these in the morning. What did you tell? What did you?
Blue specifically said, "Hey, just a heads up, I'm packing." So I said, "Okay, I'll watch in a minute." I watched. I tweeted.
I didn't know if that was part of the minute you watched.
Okay. I said, well, everyone. Everyone's a Cody. No, but I said everyone's a Cody fan now.
Oh, yeah, he was getting a lot of cheers, more cheers than he usually does. But he was going off. He was talking about his contract situation where he's currently working without a contract. He was talking about, he made reference to the Walter situation. It was one of those things where the fourth wall is going, and we appreciate. Why? You gotta appreciate that sometimes. Like when you recognize other universes. Like that's always been a thing.
It just seems. I just don't worry about WWE. Like yes, they references WWE. Just don't worry about.
They
WWE.
reference everybody. That's not. It's just not WWE. They reference all Impact, Ring of Honor. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. Like to me, this is what makes it dope is that they don't act like no other promotions don't exist. Like, it's okay to acknowledge other promotions, which he did during his promo. He referenced Ring of Honor, he referenced Impact, and to me that's what made the promo dope. That made everybody gravitate to it, because he was spitting what a lot of us was talking about. Like, sometimes it's okay to do that. Like, he wasn't like trying to, like, yeah, he took a shot at them, but it wasn't like he just sat on there and bashed
There you
on
go.
them.
But he took a shot at them. This was essentially what it is. He took
Just
a
took a shot at everybody.
This same
He took
way
a shot at his own company.
The way to see
He took a shot at AEW.
All right. Yeah.
That was the promo. He took a shot at everybody. That was the point.
People watching this and listening to this, please, like, I'm gonna put a poll one day. Is blue side with AEW or what's a lack of a better word? He's always defending AEW.
He's not defending. That's what made the promo hot. He took a shot at everybody, including AEW. That's what made he spoke from. It felt like he spoke from the heart. It wasn't like it was just like a focus on one company. He took on everybody.
You're right. I didn't say that was the case, but go ahead. Focus. Yeah, finish your point. Go ahead.
But yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be interesting, and they announced the ladder match for the TNT title. It's just an interesting situation where Cody's working without a contract, and everybody knows it. And I want to see how this rolls in terms of storyline, because for a minute it was like, why is Sammy Guevara back TNT champion? Because he caught COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of weird to us in a sense. So let's hopefully that all comes to a close. I think Wednesday's gonna be a very great show. And anything else AEW? I feel like there's one more. Yes, Jon Moxley.
Yes,
that man. Whew. When he commands the crowd,
he can.
I can't hear you. If you can hear me, you froze. Hello? Hello?
I can hear you.
Right,
but I can see my thing but I can see my thing kept buffering. I don't know if I have to turn it off again. But let's see. Right. One thing about Jon Moxley and Dean Ambrose, obviously in WWE, he commands the crowd really well and has always been a good talker. I've always said I've necessarily been the fan of his fighting style, because I that brawl type thing isn't for me. Right. But one thing about him, he's gonna always command the crowd. And man, that promo, he knocked it out of the park. 1, 2, and he looked so healthy. And the thing is, in hindsight, right, just watching him before, I didn't realize how bad he looked, right? Like, yeah, I remember mentioning when I chalked it up to as, the pregnancy weight, because his wife was pregnant. Right. So I felt that was the case, but obviously there was a little bit more to that. And he just always looked, and it's hard to say because that's his character, but he just looked he looked sloppy, right?
Right.
Just like, so just to hear that he had to go to rehab and whatever, and then see him come back, now it makes sense. So he looked really, 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 really good, and I'm excited for him.
Definitely, he looked slimmer.
He looks good.
Slimmer, clearer. He spoke clearer. Like, you can see the difference within what was like 2 months that he took out to really focus on himself. And now I'm interested in the wrestling side. I'm very excited to see what he does with Bryan Danielson over at AEW, between what match they're gonna have, because Bryan Danielson been putting on clinics.
And then obviously Bryan Danielson, going back to the whole brawling thing, like, he's brawling,
right? So these two styles is gonna be very, very interesting. And there's another interesting fact that Moxley only lost 4 matches since he's been in AEW, so there's that aspect as well. So yeah, this will be interesting. That's all for AEW.
Yeah, that's really nothing really too crazy. I want to see the Acclaimed. I want to see them, you know, um, be the next competitors for the tag team titles because I think their
I think I
gimmick is
tweeted that
dope.
too.
I think they're dope. I love their theme song. I love Max Caster's rhymes, and I love Anthony Bowen. Just him being a proud gay man and just representing and
Yeah.
so I really like their gimmick. So that's what I'm excited for when it comes to AEW.
All right. So going into the Royal Rumble, since we're done with AEW for now, um, yeah. Have you seen this card?
Yeah,
You
I've
know, I
seen the
haven't.
card. I know you. I know you're not too. I don't know. You're not too fond of it, but there's a couple of matches that I'm like. Roman and Seth that's gonna be fire. Bobby versus Brock. Um, and then you got the two Rumbles. I think that sells itself.
But the rest of the card is Doudrop versus Becky Lynch, and then Edge and Bev versus Miz and Maurice. I was just watching. Which Rumble was I watching? 2000. It was more going on outside of that whole bikini contest situation that they had. My wife was like, "What the heck is this?" I was like, "Yeah, this was going on back then." I understand the title picture matches. I I hear you on those title picture matches. Those matches are going to be fire, but I can't help to look at this and say, why are we swapping the opponents at the Rumble? Like, there was no reason for Brock to win his title at day one, and now we have somebody from Raw challenging somebody from SmackDown, essentially on both main events. And then the women's tag team title is not on the line. Your SmackDown women's title is not on the line. I don't know what's going on with the U.S. title and Intercontinental Championships. That's just the way I look at the card. I understand that those matches. You already know. I've been an advocate for this Bobby versus Brock, but this is not, to me. This wasn't the right way to do it. I'm gonna enjoy the match. I'm gonna watch it, but this deserved better, in my opinion.
No, I hear you. Listen, at the end of the day, the roster seems so thin with all the firings and just not enough. It seems like not enough people to compete. Um, but I'm really more so excited about the Rumble at the end of the day, and you know, for me, I don't think it's a bad card. I know from looking from the outside in and not someone who's not watching on a daily basis, Edge versus Edge and Bev versus Maurice and Miz is like what the hell, but
Yeah,
you
we seen
know
it
it.
come in.
That doesn't really phase me. I'm just again more so interested in this Seth and Roman match and Brock and Bobby. Um, but outside of that, who's your picks in regards to the women's Royal Rumble and the men's Royal Rumble?
You're gonna be mad at the men's Royal Rumble. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be mad at the men's Royal Rumble, but I have a feeling that Austin Theory's gonna win that.
Not gonna be mad, and I don't think that's far fetched. I won't say here. I won't say mad in the sense of like that's someone I want to win. I'll probably be
Right.
disappointed, but I can see your point, especially since the way they've been building him up low key. One, two, it's different, and when you guys have guys like Bobby involved with Brock and then Seth involved with Roman and Seth already winning,
Yeah.
um, it just seems like, well, who else do you have? Big E just got the title, so or had the title. So is he really gonna win the Royal Rumble? So it's like really not that many options. Drew just won, and I don't know if Drew's gonna be there. So it's like, who else do you have? So I can see Austin winning.
Drew's out with an
Um,
injury, right?
he is, but who knows? Like if he shows up, like it's WWE. You just don't
Right.
know who's gonna show up. Um, that's not a bad pick. If not him, uh, I, could Bobby do like if maybe KO? Does KO have a match?
No, he's in there. He's in the Rumble.
Maybe I can see KO winning. I can really see K, especially with him signing this contract. Like, all right, I'm long term with WWE. I can see him potentially winning. Um, who else? Yeah, honestly, that'd be my pick. KO. If Bobby Lashley wasn't in this match, I'm sure he may do double duty. I don't know, but I would think you know what? I'm not gonna even come up with mad names. That's my pick. KO.
And for the women's, who you got first? You pick first. Who you got?
Sasha Banks. She is coming back to
A la John Cena.
Yes,
Come back early.
That is my pick. I am going with Sasha Banks. There's no way that a bruised heel is supposed to keep her out that long. I refuse to believe that. I am going with Sasha Banks. There is no other pick that is viable, right? Unless you think of maybe Rhea Ripley or maybe Shayna Baszler. I don't know. I'm going with Sasha Banks.
I'll probably go with a participant that's probably hasn't been named. They probably try to. They said Bruce Hill could take 1 to 3 weeks to heal. So that's
what I read on Google. Right, I read on Google that's the case.
I just Googled it real quick. Like, wait a minute, what's this?
Yeah, the bone that they called it, and it's essentially a bruised heel. Listen, I'm putting it out into the universe. Sasha Banks is gonna make a surprise.
Right. If it's not our girl, I'm gonna go another route that people probably is not gonna like again. Ronda Rousey.
All right, that's the end of our show.
No,
ever in your life. Don't you ever in your life.
We got 9 open slots. You don't think she'll fit one of them? We got 9 open slots. They need people, and they need some eyes on the product.
You see my shit by thing.
Like, I'm just saying.
As soon as you said,
just as soon as I said Ronda Rousey, yes, your video started freezing. Like, but honestly, who else do you see winning this? Last year was it? Who won the Rumble last year? Oh yeah, Bianca Belair. You think she'll rip? You see you're two-peating if it's not Sasha?
No, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't, because the women's roster is so thin at this not thin, but it's just like, I don't know. But don't say that. I don't need Ronda to come back. This is no shade to Ronda. I'm sure she's a lovely woman, but it's just like WWE has a thing where if someone wins a title and they hijacked it, and that's on the women's and men's side and the tag team division and the mid-card title. When someone wins a title, they hijack it for years to come, and it's just like, it's Ronda to the division hurts it more so than helps it. So please, I hope that's not the case. I will literally sit in my seat just like, why?
I mean, I'm just putting it out there. You never know.
Whatever. Anyway, but
you never know.
Whatever. That's legit our show. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at The Mixed Tag Show or at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE, or at
Blue Magic Grind, spells how it sound. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Mixed Tag Show. Subscribe to our Twitch, twitch.com/The Mixed Tag Show. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free subscription every month. Subscribe with us. It costs you nothing. Put some money in our pockets so we can do better. So go ahead and knock that out.
And that's our show.
All right. Peace.
Tag show.